people? Welcome back to the Dugout Podcast. Thank you so much for tuning in. I'm here with the Mandim. What up, boys?
What up?
As you can see, I have. I wouldn't call him a debutant because he's been here before. Victor Smith, he was here on the Frank Lampard episode before Chelsea hired him. What up, Vicom?
All good, man. All good, man.
It's good to have Victor back. I think it took 100 episodes later for Victor to come back on my show. I'm not too sure why. I have my familiar guests here. I'm here with Yazhar. What up, Yaz?
What's good, my guys? What's good?
Good to have you here. Arsenal fan in the bottom. Victor, as you can see, top Chelsea boy with the little poster in the back there. What is that, Victor?
It's the banner.
The man got a whole banner as if he's at Stamford Bridge.
That's the groundskeeper.
I am here with my boy Henry Kalaba, my co-host. What up, Enzo?
Yeah, what up? You know me, boy. I'm here, trying to keep the peace in London.
And I'm here
London town.
I'm here with infamous Tottenham Hotspur supporter, Bryce Titus. What up, Brycey?
Oh, no.
Oh, wow. Oh, okay.
First of all, I just want to say to all the boys here, things are going to get hot. And remember, we are friends. At the end of this show, we need to see each other. So be careful what you say.
Gentlemen, we only have 40 minutes. Let's keep it tight, yeah? Let's keep it tight. So, guys, welcome to Who is the Biggest Club in London chat with all the lads. And I'm happy to have all of you guys here. Thank you so much for tuning in. You can follow me on Twitter at $_Rai and on Instagram at the Dugout Podcast. Please click subscribe at the bottom over there. And I'm happy to have all the boys here. Now, first things first. You all claim that the biggest club is your own club, right? All of you.
Yeah.
Yes.
Correct.
All of you.
Well, all of us except Bryce.
Yeah, not Bryce.
Bryce.
You shouldn't be even at the table.
Yeah. I don't even know why you invited Bryce.
You should be eating at the kiddies table, bruh.
You guys, take it easy. So obviously,
Come on, play nice.
Chelsea and Arsenal fans have the very similar perception that Tottenham are not as big as them. Bryce, what do you have to say about that?
I feel these boys need to do their homework and realize that Tottenham worked for them to crawl. So they need to pay some respect to the daddy of London.
Why do you say that?
I mean, we basically made strides for these clubs to come into London. And now they want to talk like they forgot everything that Tottenham has done. They just want to talk like they don't realize that there's a lot of counter arguments as to how you are a big club. And later in the show, I'm going to bring my own analysis in and to say, you can say that you're a big club because of this, but because of that, you might not be a big club as well. So I have my points coming with me as well. I have my gun with bullets and names on them. Victor,
what do you think about Bryce coming out here saying?
I see Victor heavily disagreeing with you.
Yeah. So what does Victor think about Bryce's statement of that his club had to crawl for you guys to walk?
It's ridiculous. Then you could have Nottingham Forest here and make the same argument for everyone else. The fact is, for the past 25 years...
I got that point coming up.
Okay. The fact of the matter is that for the past 35 years, Spurs have been an average team. The fact that they haven't won any major trophies in that time, the fact that they've been a feeder club to larger clubs for that entire duration, that's exactly what West Ham are. That's exactly what Crystal Palace are. That's exactly what teams in that category are. You cannot put them at the same table as Chelsea and Arsenal.
Yazhar, Victor brings up some very important points, calling Tottenham a feeder club, calling them and even comparing them to the likes of Crystal Palace and West Ham. Those are some very bold statements. I mean, your own personal rivalry as an Arsenal fan, where do you sit when it comes to Tottenham being equal or bigger than you as a football club?
That's just something that'll never happen. You know, the sun will never set in the east, bro. It's just, it's just ridiculous, bro. Tottenham are just not on that top tier level. It's just not happening, bro. It's actually just it's quite sad, you know. And I don't know how Bryce and the rest of the diehard Spurs fans keep on living in such a lie. But I won't lie, they've been making positive strides, but history dictates that Spurs can never be a top-notch team. In world football in England, I mean, Chelsea, Arsenal, we've got kids in Kenya, we've got kids in Ethiopia, in China, Thailand supporting our team. They know about our teams. Spurs, Spurs just not on that level, bro. They don't have that pull, you know. As Victor said, Crystal Palace, West Ham, they in that category, bro.
Henry,
We in the big leagues.
Henry, I'm not too
So
sure.
I don't even know look that beanie, bro.
Take your father's shirt off.
Wait.
Yeah.
So I'm asking you, what are your thoughts on Arsenal? Because you had a lot to say in your intro video about where Arsenal are as a football club. They've been participation candidates in the Champions League for the longest time throughout Arsene Wenger's reign. You were quite loud about that. What else do you think about Arsenal as a football club?
You see, I feel like Arsenal as a football club right now, there's no idea, there's no structure, there's no planning for the future. Because when you look at it realistically, even before this Wenger out era, they were losing every single captain Arsenal had left the club. Like they struggled to keep players, and now this Wenger out situation just enhanced everything. You saw like a lot of players' contracts running down, and a lot of players refusing to stay at the club, which from an outsider looking in, it makes it look as if no one is really believing in whatever project they're selling to the players that are coming in, or whatever future project. Because even now there are rumors of Aubameyang leaving. Like he's been linked with Barcelona, he's been linked with even Spry's move to Chelsea. Like it's like, bro, that's madness. Imagine in your mind Henderson now, our captain, being linked to City or being linked to Man U. Like that's a madness. That's crazy, bro.
Yeah.
Like when you think about it realistically, I feel like even though Arsenal, like they have bright youngsters, like you can sort of try to build a future, but now I'm even seeing rumors of Saka, their best young youth player right now, arguably could be Martinelli as well, but he's also being linked to move away from the club. So it makes everyone from the outside, like we don't know what's going in there, what's going on inside the club, but we're looking on like, wow, like this is madness. Like imagine Trent or flipping what's our youth lighty? Hoover being linked with a move away and Trent being linked with a move away.
That wouldn't happen.
That would tell you that the future of the club isn't looking good. Like even if you take Chelsea for example, Tammy, Mason Mount, and then will be linked with a move away. That would look crazy. Like it looks crazy because there's no replacement, and also for Arsenal, there's no money coming in either. So it's like, what exactly is happening?
Bryce,
Yeah, that's my take.
Victor calls Tottenham a feeder club. Now, essentially and factually, if you look at things here, Tottenham have fed certain clubs like Manchester United over the past and Real Madrid. They have fed those clubs with players, i.e. Gareth Bale, the Dimitar Berbatovs, the Luka Modric's of this world. But Arsenal are even guiltier of being feeder clubs at this moment in time. Do you agree with me, or what do you think about that?
I definitely agree with you. And you look at the likes of Fabregas and Van Persie leaving their club, and arguably one of their best players, Ramsey, who was kind of leading that club in the absence of Arsene Wenger, and they let him go on a free to Juventus. So they clearly don't have a structure or an idea of long term and how to create a team that's gonna challenge and keep going for the title. The objectives right now are very low, and that's only to challenge for the top four. we as a club, you can see we are consistently in the top four for the past 3 seasons. And as I say, we've bridged the gap and overtaken that gap right now. And we have ambitions of the title of the Premier League. And when we are in the Champions League, you can see we made it to the final in the last season. And we also have the ambition of when we're in the Champions League, we also want to play for the trophy.
So looking at Victor is laughing in the corner. So looking at global appeal, looking at clubs that have fans all over the world with their fan bases, Arsenal and Chelsea are dramatically ahead in terms of the fan base appeal globally, unfortunately ahead of Spurs. That is in no way a barometer of how big the football club is, but it is in some way a measurement of how popular the football club is. Victor, you tell me now, since you're a Chelsea fan, Dele Alli came out a couple of weeks ago saying that there's a bigger rivalry between Chelsea and Tottenham now than there is between Tottenham and Arsenal.
Well, listen, if you want to talk about recent times, Arsenal are not the club that they were 10 years ago by any way, shape, or form. I can't remember the last time Arsenal were in a proper title race. Can you think of the last time they were in a proper title race? Yeah, I was talking about Arsenal. When is the last time Arsenal were in a title race?
A real title
And
race.
that was Spurs, not Arsenal.
I can't remember. A real one.
It's been forever. So if you want to talk about the past 5 years, then Arsenal are behind the two. The past 5 years specifically. I think Chelsea are far ahead of the other two clubs, just down to the fact that Chelsea have won trophies.
That's true.
Chelsea have been winning trophies consistently for the past 23 years.
23.
Yeah, the past 23 years from 98. Well, 22 years from 1998.
Look at Henry's face.
From 1998. Yeah, from 1998.
Henry, if we're talking about trophies here, Henry, if we're going on about trophies here, I mean Tottenham.
Then Arsenal wins.
Yeah.
No. Yazhar, just take a seat, lad.
This is the Bash Arsenal show now. I'm just watching everyone bash Arsenal. Okay.
No.
I'm coming to
Wait.
you.
Okay, we get it. Yeah, angle it to me soon, okay?
Okay.
I was still finishing, Ryan.
Henry, in terms of trophies, Chelsea are a lot more popular in terms of recent times. Arsenal have had their glory days. I don't remember where Tottenham's glory days were at all. But Arsenal haven't won the Champions League as yet.
You won, Paul.
Arsenal and Spurs haven't won the Champions League.
Yeah, they haven't.
So if we're having the conversation if we're having the convo of big clubs, do either of them qualify knowing full well that either of them haven't won the Champions League?
No.
Are you asking for my personal opinion?
Yes.
Please.
Yes.
Please, I want to talk
right.
on that.
And
Wait, let Henry finish and I'll come to you.
People know this, and this is a fact. Like, this is a fact. I'm about to lay down a serious fact right now. In the last couple of years, Chelsea has been the biggest club in London. That is just a fact in terms of trophies and the importance of the trophies that they have won as well. And not just the trophies, but if you take the overall Chelsea team, like that GOAT Chelsea team, and you pair it up against any Arsenal team of that time, or any Spurs team of that time, it trumps them. Because you had John Terry, you had Lampard, you had Drogba, like there was a lot of things. And can you believe Robin couldn't make it into that team? Like that says a lot. Like when you think about it realistically. So in my opinion, Chelsea's been the biggest club in London, but the overall biggest club in London, unfortunately, it is Arsenal. It is Arsenal. But then the team with the brightest future right now is Tottenham Hotspurs. That's my opinion. The team with although there seems to be a bit of a decline with how they're being managed, because we saw Eriksen left already to Inter Milan. And some people think Kane might leave soon as well. He might go to either Man U or wherever people are saying Kane may go. And then they're also looking at the lack of effort from the team as well under their current manager. But that's just how it is right now. Spurs have the best stadium. They've invested well, and they've been in the better positions over these last 2 or 3 seasons. So
Now
that's my opinion right now.
We've got 2 points of order. I see Victor shaking his head. I know Yazhar needs some airtime, and Bryce first and foremost needs to get some impact. Bryce, before I come to your point of order, I need to get to Yazhar. Yazhar, the reality
give
is,
Yazhar the data bundle.
I need to give Yazhar some airtime. I need to give Yazhar some. I'm sorry,
Okay.
I'll come to you. Yazhar, talk to me about what's just been said about Arsenal. They're the biggest club so far, but not right now.
Thanks, Ryan. Firstly, what I wanted to say is that you can't have winning a Champions League trophy as the barometer of being a big club. Because I just saw a tweet about this about a week ago. Steaua Bucharest, Nottingham Forest, Dynamo Zagreb, all of these teams have won Champions League trophies and European trophies, but it doesn't mean that they're a bigger club than the next team. It's just a contributing factor. And then about what you guys were saying, you guys were really having fun there. Eh? Everyone was up against Arsenal there. But what Henry said there is, kind of honest. Recently, past 10, 15 years or so, Arsenal haven't been where they should be. There's deep-rooted issues within the club. Our best players wanting to go play for our rivals, money problems, not being competitive. But at the end of the day, that still doesn't take away from the greatness and the immense value and the sway that Arsenal have in world football. There's no other team that can have people's emotions like all over the place. Everyone has something to say about my team. We have, our fan TV, our fan TV side. Those guys had the world watching our team, and I tend to agree with some other points risen as well. Chelsea have definitely been the best performing team, in recent history. Spurs definitely up and coming, and at the moment Arsenal are in third place in terms of quality on the pitch, but in terms of biggest greatness, our history, our fans, our global appeal, we above Chelsea and Spurs, and North London is red. Yes.
Point of order. Bryce Titus, get on to Yazhar at the bottom there, please. I know you want to. I know you've been dying. Get on to him.
Wait.
Yeah, wait your turn. Wait your turn. You wait your turn, big man. No, come on. How long am I waiting?
I'll wait.
Hey.
I'll allow him because this is his show. It's
Take it easy.
his turn to showcase his small club.
Take it easy. Bryce, go for it.
You done, big man?
Bryce, go.
So look here. The way I look at it, right, is that my premise is that Tottenham are the oldest between the 3 clubs, right? And their records, they're the first to win the double of the FA Cup in the First Division League, and they're the first to win European trophies out of British teams, right?
You
Correct.
won.
First
That is
division.
a very important factor. Mate, don't interrupt me. Don't interrupt me. Right. And now, Chelsea want to talk that because they won the Champions League trophy, that they are a big club. And then Arsenal's premise is that because they've won the more trophies, and I will highlight that number. Arsenal have won 49, Chelsea 26, and Spurs 24. It does seem like that is 2 polar opposite numbers, right? But
They are.
again, as we mentioned about the topic about major trophies, if you do look at it of Nottingham Forest, if you're going to say that Champions League trophies are determined that you're a big club, Nottingham Forest would be considered a bigger club than Arsenal because they won 2 Champions League trophies. They won a Super Cup. Aston Villa also won a Champions League trophy, and they also won a Super Cup. So do we say that they are bigger than Arsenal because they won those trophies?
No, we
That
don't.
would be a point directed at Victor. because he thinks the Champions League trophy makes you a big club.
No. I didn't say that. In order to be considered a big club, that's one of the prerequisites one needs to have. When you talk about the truly elite clubs in Europe, which clubs are you considering? Real Madrid, AC Milan, Barcelona, Inter Milan, Juventus, Liverpool, Bayern Munich, right? Chelsea, teams like that, who've won titles and who've won European trophies as well. Now, just to come to your point, Bryce, you cannot bring up.
Relax there, boy.
Oh,
Where's
Victor.
the homie?
Hey,
Hey,
Telkom ran out.
Telkom, Victor, dog, what's going on, my G? Victor, what's going on, bro?
Ask Chelsea to send him some data.
Oh,
Yeah, he needs the rope.
VM, dog, what happened,
He
Victor?
must sell that shower curtain that he got behind him. He must sell that shower curtain he got behind him. Not working.
Henry, how's this, dog? How's this? So, also been going on about like who's a feeder club, who's not a feeder club, who's been selling more players, who's won more trophies. Victor had the nail on the head. The ultimate feeder club here, in my own opinion, is Arsenal. What do you think?
Let me see. Okay, first of all, I wanna clarify a few points because there's been some things going with the back and forth in
Yeah.
terms of a club attaining a European title. For instance, let me use Nottingham Forest. The story behind Nottingham Forest is in fact that the club was spending a lot of money, which it forced them to sell their top players. That's why they fell off after they won that second Champions League. And a lot of people, like it's been a huge discussion right now, even amongst professionals, that Nottingham Forest would have gone and done major things for a couple of years if they hanged on to those players. Now, back to Arsenal. Before we cut, Yazhar had points about Arsenal, and big ups to him because he admitted that like they're not in the space that they're supposed to be. And I believe if every Arsenal fan has his type of mentality, then Arsenal will be forced to obviously push up its standards. Because I feel like the problems that are at Arsenal, because a lot of the fans have been constantly settling for less. Like if you see those clips from even Arsenal fan TV, like at the start of the season, there's even montages of the years. At the start of the season, men are like, "I'm gonna win the league," and then by June, by January, they have like 40 injuries, and O's want to leave now. Then they're like, "Oh, it's a shambles." Then you see, "Oh, it's a shambles." Like, bro, you can't. It's because they always constantly settling for less. Like, "Oh no, it's not this. We just need to push on," or "It's not this." Like, first of all, they've been needing someone new to own the club. They've been needing that. That's just a fact. They've been needing a new owner. They've been needing more drive within the managers that they bring in. Like, you can't be bringing in good evening, like a man that can barely speak English in an English league. Like a man that can barely speak English in an English league.
Good
How are you
evening.
supposed to communicate with the players in training? Yeah, like, no, but let's be serious. Like, let's be serious. Because the language barrier is a thing. So, like, also now to go to the feeder club thing, like, yes, Arsenal have been, as much as they trying to push it on Tottenham, like, "Oh, Tottenham are feeder club," how can you lose Thierry Henry and tell me that someone else is a feeder club? How can you lose Van Persie? And Van Persie's the only reason Man U probably won that season.
Yeah.
He pushed them to win that one season. So how can you tell me you're losing all, like, feeder club? You need it. It's because for me, like they're saying feeder club, but for me, Dortmund was a feeder club. Like, and when you look at Arsenal, what's the difference between Arsenal and Dortmund? They've both been losing their top players. Like, you can't argue against it. But the fact is also Spurs have been losing a couple 1-2 players, but Modric and Gareth Bale are the last ones we all remember. But like now you look at Arsenal, we just lost Ramsey, like their best player. They've just lost Ramsey.
Bryce
And when Fabregas was coming back to the Premier League, where did he go? He didn't go to Arsenal. And people will say, yeah, but Wenger was stubborn. He turned them down. But it's still fact that he didn't go back to Arsenal. He went to Chelsea. So if you look at the recent documents, Arsenal are the recent feeder club, and they've been feeding. Like the consistency of they're giving us buffets.
I agree with you, Henry. I do. Victor, I see you laughing in the corner there. I need to ask you, does a club's expectations come into the conversation? Because the reality is we've seen Chelsea chop and change managers due to the extreme expectations of the football club. Now, if you ask me, I think between these three clubs, Chelsea have the highest expectations. Should that be a factor that we should even consider in the first place?
Oh, well, definitely. Listen, if you think about it, Spurs have been overachieving.
Yeah.
They've been overachieving because their expectation is what? Try to get as close to top 4, qualify for top 4. And they've been doing it for the past 5 years. And well done to them for that. But that's where their ceiling is. You know, a team like Arsenal, their expectation, no one knows what the expectation is. You can't sell your best players and expect to compete and then not replace them. Nobody knows what the expectation is. Like, I think they're 7th at the moment when the league closed.
That's true.
Yeah, they were praying that City got bombed.
But they still weren't going to make it because Man United were going to get the 4th spot.
I need to ask Yazhar for a second. Yazhar, with all these accusations pointed towards Arsenal for being a feeder club, for this and that, do you believe the expectation of Arsenal fans as a collective, like Arsenal fans, the board, do you think there is a higher expectation of the fans compared to where the football club is at this moment in time?
Yeah, I had to just have a quick word with my legal counsel, and we are going to plead guilty. We're going to plead guilty to being a feeder club. The gents' arguments were, they cut deep, bro. They cut deep. And, you know, the problem with my team is that there's just a huge disconnect as to what's important. You know, is it the money? Is it actually achieving? And there's huge problems. But at the end of the day, I still feel like we're not far away from challenging. I feel like we just need a little bit of stability, the right man in charge, and the right acquisitions, and we're not too far away. But it's gonna take a big change of the entire culture, change of leadership, and yeah.
Victor, I see Victor disagrees with you, Yazhar. Why do you disagree, Victor?
He said they're not far from challenging. Challenging for what? 8th.
Oh my word!
No. If Yazhar made the statement 10 years ago, 100%. But at the moment, they're too far behind. Too far behind.
Yeah.
Relatively speaking, all the teams are too far behind. Even City is too far behind this year's Liverpool team. But we all know that
we're not talking about just a point.
No, we're not talking. We're talking about Premier League. That's what we're talking about.
Yeah, but we're not talking about just a point total. Talking about the level of your team. City and Liverpool are very close in terms of the level of their team. They perform at a particular level. They're both really world-class teams. Arsenal is nowhere near that. They haven't been near that for a very long time. And, oh, my word, Wolves are closer. Let's put it like that.
I see Bryce in the top corner over there, obviously shaking his head, and he's got a lot in his mind. Bryce, speak to me about the wage structure at Tottenham, because obviously Arsenal have some of the highest paid wages in the Premier League. Tottenham don't seem to be competing in any shape or form as in terms of wages, don't pay the amount of wages that Arsenal and Chelsea do. Why don't they pay the amount of money?
First of all, I want to get on to a topic that Victor just spoke about in terms of ceilings.
You guys.
When he says that I'll get back to the wages. But when he wants to talk about ceiling, and he says our ceiling is to consistently be in the top 4, tell me how it is that we'll send scouts to go see a player, and then you will send your scouts to watch our scouts watch that player. Please tell me. Yeah, yeah. Please tell me, because when you want to talk about ambition, right? You can see that our club has got a sustainable business model. Yeah.
Yo.
You can see that building a stadium that is world class, that is probably arguably one of the best in Europe, with its facilities, the training grounds. Everybody who comes there, ask any player that's going to come into the Premier League, where would they want to be training? Where would they want to be playing? They'll tell you Tottenham Hotspur Stadium. They'll tell you the Tottenham Hotspur training ground. All right. And if you just look at that, basically, I mean, come on. Ambitions-wise, you can see we building. And then when it goes back to the wages, obviously that we've had to take our time. We had to pace ourselves, get the stadium right. Our match day revenue is eating away that debts for our stadium. You look at Arsenal when they built that Emirates Stadium. They're the only club that I know that can have anything in their name or title with Emirates and not have anything such as oil money. They suck. So you can see with our sustainable business model. With our sustainable business model, you can see that, okay, we'll get the stadium sorted out. And then the big money players will come in, the big money wages will happen. It's about having a sustainable business model. And you know that's going to be a long-term plan.
Henry, you've watched games at all 3 stadiums. At Stamford Bridge, at the Emirates, and the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium. Correct me if I'm wrong. Some of the most poisonous atmospheres, meaning one misplaced pass, the fans lose their minds, has been at the Emirates. What do you think about that?
Yeah, we can see it. And a lot of people are saying, like, just because they have AFTV doesn't mean that their fans aren't toxic. But in reality, it actually is. The Arsenal fans are actually very toxic. Like, in terms, because if you even back just to recent times, they wanted Wenger out. And Wenger basically built that whole club, and
100%.
all that revenue and money that they used to build the Emirates is all from his legacy. And part of the only reason we're having these kind of arguments now are all due to Wenger. He's built most of that Arsenal legacy by himself. Like, he also revolutionized football. Like, there was a lot of disrespect, and I knew why, because, like, obviously he got a bit lost in this new age now. Because, like, new age now, it's not like you buy experienced players and then you push off on experienced players. Like, Mourinho is having that problem as well. You can see he has a few connections. I was getting a call, but yeah, he has a few lost connections in pushing all the players to come in, like the experienced thing. It doesn't work now. You need a hot young prospect to learn from your club's star player, and that's the way forward. That's working, the model that's working now. So that's how I see it. Like, Arsenal fans, they complain about everything, but at the end of the day, Spurs fans, although the team, and rightly so, were upset with finishing second in the Champions League, the Spurs fans knew what that meant, and that was a moment, and they got behind the club, and they were ready to push again. Arsenal fans, like, most defeats, when you see Arsenal lose a single game, just look at everything you'll see that comes with that loss.
Yo, it's crazy. Like, it's so toxic.
It's disgusting.
Yo, it's toxic.
And you know, they trend. The thing is, I hate to use social media as a point, but you go on social media and they trend. Like, they hate trends. I don't know any other club where they hate trends on globally on Twitter.
That's how big a club we are, bro.
There's no other club that can lose one game and trend for the whole night about their hatred, about their loss. It just breeds toxicity.
Yeah, no one likes to lose, bro.
Yeah.
No,
I don't want to lose. I don't like losing.
No, the reality is.
My point is.
Sorry, Henry, go.
Wait, my point. You guys accept mediocrity at the start of the season, and then when you lose, you I don't know what you expect. It's like the Arsenal fans expected this, like, global world star team, like a bunch of
Agreed.
Ronaldinhos in midfield and
Agreed.
something. But the core thing,
Epic.
like how long did they push Wilshere? Wilshere was dead. He was dead for years. And the man was injured for years. And they kept saying, oh, he has potential. Man's 24 with potential. What? No, bro. Come on. You can't tell me you're settling for mediocrity at the start of the season, and then at the end of the season you're expecting all the accolades. Like, it doesn't work like that. Let's be
Agreed.
realistic.
Victor, sorry, man. So I wanted to have a chat with you about the success of Chelsea's academy in recent times. We've seen plenty of young prospects come through the academy at Chelsea, and that's been the product of their loan system. Now, Arsenal have prided themselves on the academy and how many players they can bring through. But what we're looking at right now is that Chelsea are the number one force in London to bring through young players right now.
Yes, that's true. And Chelsea have been that for quite some time. If you just look at the FA Youth Cup and the UEFA Youth Cup, out of all the English teams, Chelsea have won those competitions more than anyone else in recent times. You look at this golden generation coming through the academy at the moment, Tammy Abraham, Mason Mount, Ruben Loftus-Cheek, all of these guys have won these trophies on numerous occasions. They've been through the England youth system at under 17. So it's no surprise that these young players are doing well. They've been playing well for quite some time. Chelsea's academy at the moment, I would say, is right up there with the best in Europe. Right up there with the best in Europe. Just because if the players aren't successful...
Sorry, Victor. Continue.
Yeah. I just said if they aren't succeeding at Chelsea, then they're going elsewhere and succeeding.
Bryce, you had a point of order. Before I come to Yazhar, you had a point of order.
I do agree that in recent times the academy is quite amazing to watch and what they're bringing through. But I just want to bring through a very key statistic. In terms of which London club has provided the most England internationals ever, Tottenham lead with 78 to Arsenal 63 to Chelsea 49. I think that is a very important statistic to remember.
Well, if you're only having English players in your academy, then maybe.
100%. I was actually, yeah, Victor, you're on a point. Yazhar wouldn't.
So what does it say then? You're having to go around the world to go get youngsters.
That's called quality scouting.
It's called quality scouting.
It's scouting. It's scouting.
Breed them. They're not horses.
You're telling me, listen, mate, you're telling me that you can't develop players better. You can't develop players better. You're finding the best youngsters around the world, but you can't develop youngsters better. That's what I'm saying.
You're taking someone from a 15-year-old with potential and turning them into a professional footballer. I think that's quite enough.
We're just talking about London clubs, yeah, right? So what are you talking about? It's very important to know that these youngsters get into the England national team. That's the whole point of being a Premier League team.
Take it easy.
Right, hold on,
take it easy. Take it easy. Bryce, it's not all about English players, unfortunately. It is about the all-round collective. You do have a point, but the reality is that there are other nationalities involved in football clubs. Yazhar, speak to me about Arsenal's academy, because I saw you shake your head when Victor was talking about their academy. I know you obviously have some points to prove with Joe Willock, Bukayo Saka, Emile Smith-Rowe.
Yeah, like I'm a huge believer in the quality that exists in Chelsea's academy. Notoriously for years they've been, churning out some top prospects, but they've never seen lights of day with the team. It took them Frank Lampard and a transfer ban for us to finally see them give their players a chance. If I was a professional footballer, I'd steer clear from Chelsea's academy. And as soon as things start going awry with Lampard, which will happen, I mean, he's a young manager. It won't always be sunshine and roses. They're going to resort back to their usual tried and tested tactic, which is buying trophies. And the young players are going to suffer. But what I wanted to also add, that whole Wenger out stuff that you mentioned and Arsenal's fans, being toxic, that's, highly debatable. I was reluctantly a part of the Wenger out brigade. I felt like I wasn't happy with the direction the team was going in, and we needed change. It doesn't mean that I wasn't grateful for Wenger or appreciative of what he did for my team. I mean, his team I shouldn't even say my team. It's his team, you know. That his team changed the modern English game. And yeah, our fans are not toxic. We just emotional. Our expectations are always high, because we want to believe in the good. And as soon as things don't go well, you can't expect us just to be like, yeah, man, you know, we just accept it. You know, we're gonna be upset. We're gonna trend. We're gonna be on your news feed because we're that massive of a team. Everyone's gonna feel it. Yeah.
Victor, before I go to Henry, do you have something important to say? Because you highly disagreed with what Yazhar was saying earlier.
Buying trophies. Okay. I just want to answer that one. Okay.
Yeah.
So Chelsea's record signing is Kepa Arrizabalaga, right? He costed the club 71 million. And their second highest or the second most expensive player was Morata at 55. So-called Arsenal, who hardly ever spend money according to how everyone wants to behave, signed Nicolas Pepe for almost 80 last year, and the previous season signed Aubameyang
72.
for 60. 72, okay? Signed Aubameyang for 60. Signed Lacazette for over 50. Signed Ozil for 47, 48, around there. The difference is when Chelsea spend money, they win titles. Arsenal spend money and nothing happens. So it's not buying titles. Everyone spends money. We just win.
Yeah, those are our biggest signings ever. Those are our biggest signings ever, bro. But if you want to compare the two, I don't have the figures right now. Yeah, man, those are our biggest signings ever. Some big signings, but still, historically, you guys spend way more than us, bro. Your net spend is way high. You have a Russian oligarch pumping, flipping blood money into your team, and you guys are buying trophies, bro. Man City just refined the model and did it better than you guys.
Yo,
It comes down to
More
that.
titles
It's
than
simple
them.
facts.
Still have more titles than them.
Yeah, I mean they just got big a couple years ago, bro. You guys have been doing it a bit longer, but still, both historically small teams that had input of large amounts of money, and now they want to be talking and piping up like they the biggest club in their city. It's a joke.
Henry, do you look at this convo happening? Look at this convo happening. What are your thoughts about Chelsea buying their way to trophies? Do you agree with the fact that Chelsea have invested heavily and have won trophies, or do you think that they've ultimately just thrown money at it? What do you think of the whole situation?
My thing is, I believe in the past they did. I don't think right now, because how can you spend big? Like Kepa's a flop. Like, let's be real. Morata's a flop. Like, how can you spend big on players that are trash and then say that they bought trophies? It doesn't make sense, because it only makes sense in the past when they bought players that did damage in the league. So that's my thing. That's why it's more accurate to say that City buy their titles than it is to say that Chelsea buy their titles, like right now. But in the past, they started this trend, though, this trend of investing large amounts of money and buying trophies. And that's why they're called rent boys. You know, they call them rent boys because they've been buying, or plastic champions, whatever people call them, because Roman comes with his card, he swipes, and then they've been buying trophies, and then he moves on. But as of now, like, I don't think they're the ones buying trophies. And I feel like it's the culture now. It's become a norm.
It's become the new narrative now, where every club has to invest to win trophies.
Yeah, like Bayern never used to spend gang cash. Now they bought Lucas Hernandez for 80 million. Like, come on. It's happening in every league, everywhere.
Bryce, I'm pretty sure your mind is running wild with the amount of things that have been brought up in the past 5 minutes. The reality is these two clubs are talking about bringing through youth. They're talking about having better players. Between all three clubs, who's had the most flops?
Hey. Good topic. we can't buy a striker. We can't buy. What was Vincent Janssen? That man was trash, man. He scored one. I think he scored one goal for the club, yo, and he was out.
At least
Oh,
that's
man.
better than Sonogo, bro. At least
Yo.
that's better than Yaya Sonogo, bro.
Hey,
So that was a kid, bro.
But Bryce, you haven't given me an answer because I mean Vincent Janssen comes to us most recently. I think over time we've seen plenty of players come to the Premier League and just not cut it. You know, we've seen Vincent Janssen. What was that French boy that
Giovanni
came?
Dos Santos.
We've seen so many boys at Spurs.
Soldado came, rubbish. There's only Pinaldo in the box.
Yazhar, would you call players like Eric Lamela flops?
Nah, I wouldn't say Lamella's a flop.
I
I think all
don't
teams have flops, you know. Just some have more than others.
Does he get into a top 6 team right now?
Yeah, maybe. I think he can play for Wolves. I think he can play for Wolves.
What?
I think with the right pieces around him, Lamella's a good player, bro.
Victor, am I going crazy?
Bro, I'm
Yeah,
just
talking.
why are you asking an Arsenal fan about things they don't know about? Why are you asking them about top 6, bro?
Yo.
Yeah, we did have a lesson in bad investment back then.
That's your sustainable business model.
I'll give you a point for that, Victor. I'll give you a point for that. But that's like the first and last time something like that happened.
Oh, Victor.
I saw Victor waiting.
Victor waiting. Do you have them written down, Victor?
You literally lurked in the comments or something.
Yo. If I have to compare one more topic of conversation, who has had the most successful managers over the past, say, 15 years? So let's be real. Let's actually look at it this way. Jose Mourinho, Arsene Wenger, and Maurizio Pochettino. Henry, you go first.
Pochettino isn't even in that conversation, though. Because let's be real, Arsene Wenger has GOAT status at not just Arsenal, but the Premier League itself, because he revolutionized how football was. And then Mourinho has his own GOAT days because he came in as like a super underdog. Like, I don't know if you remember his first few interviews in the Premier League, and everyone was like, who is this guy? Like, man made Benny McCarthy win a Champions League. Like, but everyone was like, he's not gonna cut it.
Benny!
They were all like, yeah. Because remember, Fergie at that time was like the god of football and management, and Fergie didn't like Jose. So everyone was like, oh, if Fergie says he's not going to make it, then he's not going to make it. Because there's even that thing where Fergie's like, yeah, he proved me wrong. Because I was like, who's this arrogant, whatever. So, like, Mourinho has he fought against the odds that time when he was at Chelsea. And Pochettino, like, he's a great manager, don't get me wrong, and he has the potential to have that as well if he makes the next right move. But I don't think you can compare his, like, how long was he at Spurs? Like 4 years, 3 years?
I think about 5 years actually.
I don't know if you can compare that to Arsene Wenger, who like was young and left as a dinosaur, and then you can compare Mourinho, who's had two chances at Chelsea. How do you compare that to Pochettino, who's only come in and had one stint? Although, like, he showed us things, he reached the final of the Champions League, but like he never attained any titles as well. But I don't discredit his management skills at all. So for me, like, but it's at the same time, it's hard to put him in this conversation with Mourinho and Arsene Wenger.
Yazhar, we've obviously given you some food for thought with this conversation. I can see you holding your head there. I know your heart says Arsene Wenger. What does your head say?
Yeah, no, I hear what you guys are saying. Victor and Henry pulled up some good points there. Uh, I think, yeah, Pochettino doesn't figure. It's a two-horse race there between those three coaches, and I think Mourinho, for his ruthless, because soccer at the end of the day, it's about winning. So I think Mourinho just puts it, ahead of Wenger in terms of greatness. But I think Wenger's impact is something that we have to acknowledge, and I think on that level, he's on that Ferguson level, in that top two of the greatest to do it in England of all time. Did I hear a sneaky Wenger out there? Shut up, bro. Only an Arsenal fan has the right to say that, bro.
Sorry.
Put some respect on the
The
man.
Lord's name in vain. Can't be saying the Lord's name in vain like that. What's wrong with you?
Lord,
Yo,
Yo.
the blasphemy, bro. Yo.
I'm super considering naming my firstborn after Arsenal, bro. One day. Andre Arshavin.
Light is gonna get teased.
This is on record.
Andre Arshavin. Remember the Russian Andre Arshavin? He actually named his first son after Arsene Wenger.
This is on
So
record.
it just shows the type of a man.
So biased.
This is on record.
So biased.
Masteki must understand. She must understand, bro. Some things are bigger than life, bro.
I appreciate the honesty. I think we can't discredit Arsene Wenger's legacy for what he's left at Arsenal. Bryce, just to end off on this whole conversation, Tottenham haven't been able to trump the amount of wins Arsenal have against them. Neither have they against Chelsea. Why has that been the case?
Well, that's looking over a long period of time for sure. But if you want to be talking about a derby coming up right now, who are you going to be more scared of in terms of strikers coming up in a London derby? Are you going to be scared of Tammy Abraham, Oba, that can't even score a pen even if the keeper wasn't in the net?
What?
Or Harry Kane?
What?
So
Bro, don't talk about
you don't have a person that can score a penalty, When it comes to London derbies, I mean, the most threatening person right now was definitely Harry Kane. So I think we definitely have an edge in that.
The man's in hospital. He's in a hospital bed, bro.
And mate, listen, yeah. Let me finish. The man's back at training, bro. When we talk about the top 5 scorers in the EPL London derbies, let me finish, guys. We have Thierry Henry with 43 goals in 59. Teddy Sheringham, a Tottenham player, with 30 and 70. Frank Lampard with 32 and 139. And we got Harry Kane in 4th with 29 and 46. Who do you think out of current crop of players is most likely to have his numbers increase? You don't have any current player for Arsenal or Tottenham in that conversation.
Yeah.
Aubameyang, bro.
Aubameyang?
I think Aubameyang's a better striker than Harry Kane, bro.
Man,
I think
you bought that man to do
goals are-
backflips and put on Moss. He's a superhero, not a soccer player.
I don't know where's the Aubameyang hate coming from, bro.
Yeah, neither do
Doesn't
I.
make sense. It's so
Guys,
offside, bro.
Aubameyang plays in the Tottenham team right now.
Harry Kane gets into every team in the world.
Aye. Not true.
Ish,
Not
I don't know
true.
about that.
Hey,
I don't
not
know about
Every
that.
team in the world.
He gives you
Except
more
City.
threat.
Except
He gives
City.
you more threat. He can
Except
score with his
City.
left foot, his right foot. He can score headers. He can score with his bloody thigh outside the box, penalty area. What can a bomber do except pace? Only
Except
Rodgers or
City and
sprint.
Bayern.
Henry, can you hear this
Come
conversation
on.
that's happening now? Can you hear this? So
I
basically,
can, but
Bryce is discrediting. He's discrediting Aubameyang entirely.
I don't see
Yeah,
why.
but the thing is, I don't think he's too far off. That's the weird thing, because honestly, how many PFAs how many golden boots has Harry Kane won in now? He's got more golden boots than Aguero. Like, that's one argument you can make as well. And I don't know. I think Aubameyang won his first golden. I'm not saying that Aubameyang is worse than Harry Kane. That's all I'm saying. But I'm saying like Bryce has the right to have those feelings. Like I don't feel like what he's saying is completely crazy. Like I feel like Harry Kane does get like he's been linked with Real Madrid already. He's been linked with Man U. I don't know if it was before they were trash or while they were trash. Like, and then he's been linked with numerous clubs as well. I even saw a Barca link along the line somewhere. So like, it's not hard to believe. Like I feel like because Harry Kane was he was even I think he was one of the only players in this generation of the Premier League that was scoring more than 20 goals a season, consecutive seasons. So like I don't feel like that proves itself that he is like a top world class striker.
Victor, get it off your chest.
No, definitely. Harry Kane is a world class striker. Easy top 3 strikers in the world, in my opinion. I'm not going to debate that. But don't trash talk Aubameyang. Aubameyang's also a world class striker.
Yeah, that's actually the real price. I mean, Aubameyang is one of the best in the world, targeted by some of the biggest clubs in the world too. So
Pace merchants.
no, but Bryce, he's an ultimate finisher.
Yeah, Bryce is wrong.
For the
He's
basics,
talking like
man.
You
Aubameyang's
should
a
ask
body
Harry
Look at how many
Kane to
misses
talk,
he scored. He
bro,
finds
and
a
then
goal in
you'll
the
see.
6-yard box.
Bryce,
Come
put
on.
some respect. Put some respect on Aubameyang's name here. Let's be honest.
Ask Harry Kane to talk,
I'll put a
bro.
teaspoon. In 2020, you can't be dissing people's disabilities. This is going on YouTube. You're gonna have people coming outside your house fighting you. But man, don't go that route.
This is not
I'll give
England,
you a
Bryce.
twist.
Unfortunately, that won't happen here. That won't happen here.
Ogun road. It's a peach house.
Crazy. Like there was no fuel.
So in the Premier League in the last 20 years, who is the goalkeeper of this London 11? Bryce, go.
Check, without a doubt.
Bryce, go.
Check.
Henry?
I wanted to say lemon, but check.
Check was even at Arsenal.
Victor?
Check.
Yes?
Manuel Almunia.
Who?
Chesney, bro.
No, I'm playing Peter Check.
Okay, let's end the convo here. Right back.
Kyle Walker.
Excuse me?
Ivanovic.
How? Kyle Walker? What's wrong with you? Kyle Walker.
My man,
50 million. One of the highest prices for a defender. Come on, Kyle Walker.
Andy Carroll cost £35 million, was a world record fee at the time, and he's garbage. Don't talk nonsense to me, please. Aye.
Come on, Kyle Walker.
Guys, right back. I won't lie, Ivanovic.
I think a lot of people discount Lauren and the amazing stuff he did in that Invincibles team.
Oh yeah,
I think
Lauren was pretty good.
I think Lauren was quality. Eh? I'd go for Lauren, but it's close.
Oh, that's hard. It's hard because like Lauren was fire, but I grew up watching Ivanovic. So it's like hard it's like, and Kyle Walker's at the enemy's team, bro. Like
There's two votes for Ivanovic. There's one for Kyle Walker and there's one for Lauren. You are the deciding vote, my guy.
Yo. Then I'm sorry, I have to go Ivanovic, bro. Like that man
okay,
is scoring
Ivanovic
goals too.
Ivanovic it is. Guys, centre half.
Oh, wait, Ryan.
Yeah?
Ryan, I have to dip now, bro. Sorry. Guys, I'm gonna have to leave. Got a couple things to do. Peace. Be nice talking trash with you about these trash London clubs.
Like a man
has to go.
Like a my G. Okay, sorry guys. Centre backs.
Tony Adams and John Terry.
Oof.
Yeah, that's a killer duo, eh? I like it for maybe like a Sol Campbell, but not that he just got his time spent at Spurs. and John Terry.
I think it's
So
John
Sol
Terry.
Campbell, John Terry.
Oof, Bryce.
Deep down in my heart, I want to say Ledley King.
I wouldn't blame you. Honestly, I wouldn't blame you, bro. The
Deep
hope is
down in my
fire.
heart, I want to say it, man. Deep down in my heart, I
Yeah.
want to say Ledley King.
I wouldn't blame you.
But I really gotta say John Terry and the man that goes beside
Legends. Yeah, okay. Tony
No problem.
Adams. Tony Adams and John Terry. Left back.
Cole, bro.
Has to be
Easy.
Ashley Cole.
Ashley Cole.
Played for 2 of the 3 years, bro.
It's Ashley Cole.
Yeah.
Who am I gonna say? Benoit Asoikoto.
Hey, that's a good so.
Okay.
He was fire, but than Ashley Cole.
Midfield. Yo, Desai has to be there.
Oh,
No.
so PDM now.
Yep.
What formation are we playing?
4-3-3. Maybe let's have 2 defensive midfielders. Either
City?
well, Desai gets my vote, and then yo, who's next? Okay, Vieira.
Let's do a 4-4-2, bro. Keep it simple.
Yeah, so keep it simple.
Okay, 4-4-2.
4-4-2.
So Vieira.
Vieira Lampard, bro.
Oof.
Vieira Lampard.
Yeah, clean. You got my votes.
I thought Bryce was gonna
Trying to
come with a
think if
Luka
there's anyone
Modric
I'm forgetting.
spanner.
Nah,
Wait.
look at and achieve what those guys achieved in the
If you
league.
go 4-4-2, I wanna put 2 players in there. I do wanna put in Luka Modric and I do wanna put in Musa Dembele.
Musa Dembele.
Musa Dembele.
Man was like a
Nah.
Bentley on the field, man. Come on.
Bro, we're not talking about a FIFA team, bro. We're talking about real life, bro. Like, come on, bro.
Okay. I'll put Luka Modric and I'll put Lampard.
Okay.
Vieira Lampard, I agree. So that's
Yeah.
Vieira Lampard midfield sorted. Left wing.
Eden Hazard.
Bale.
Bale on the right, Hazard on the left. That's
But
for
Bale
me.
never played on the right. Can't put him on the right if he never
He
played.
plays on the right now,
He does now.
But for Spurs, he
Real
was a left.
Madrid.
He was a left
and he
winger.
did in his last season. In his last season, he played on the right.
He
He
did.
switched with Lennon. But on the start of the game, he was on the left.
Ooh,
I don't know
Eden
about
Hazard
Bale.
and Gareth Bale for me.
ooh, this is a tough one.
It's definitely Hazard.
Don't talk.
Definitely Hazard on the left. But on the
Come
right,
on.
That's Bale on the right for
I'm gonna
me.
put Hazard over Bale, really.
Yes.
The man is overweight and eating hot dogs in Real Madrid in a pudding. Come on.
Okay, I actually agree.
Yeah, bro.
Hazard and Bale, I agree. I highly agree. Front
I
two.
like it. I like it for Robert Pires, bro, on the right, bro.
Ooh.
That was a mamba on the wing, bro. Pires.
Front two, gents.
Thierry Henry and Drogba.
Thierry
Yeah,
Henry
you
is
see,
definitely-
my heart would tell me that, but Henry and Bergkamp, bro, like my
That's the
brain
same
is
thing I was
just because
thinking.
It's an existing partnership, like, yo.
That's the same thing I
Drogba
was
has
thinking.
more goals in finals than all
Yeah.
the strikers we're gonna talk about. Drogba has more goals in finals than all the strikers we're gonna talk
You
about.
know what? I'll go with Drogba Henry as well.
Drogba
Just
Henry
for that
me
reason.
too.
Just because
Drogba
he
Henry.
is so iconic.
Ooh.
Drogba is amazing, bro.
Yo.
Drogba and Henry as well. That's
Guys,
a killer
what a
team.
team. What a team. Anyway,
And
guys.
where's Lord Bentner, bro?
We can't put Robertson in goal there.
Lord Bentner,
Oh, Lord Bentner.
The price is like we can't put Paul Robinson in the nets.
Oh, bro.
I'll put him there backup, bro. Third choice.
Guys, it's been good
Yeah.
chatting to you. I need to end the chat here. I'll have our 11 up for critique. I know we're going to have plenty of haters throwing shade on Twitter, on Instagram, whatever the case is. So,
I know it's
yeah, there's gonna be ammo coming towards us. I know this. It's a given with my show. But thank you all for being here. I appreciate all 3 of you, Henry as well. And thanks for coming through for me. I appreciate you boys.
100%.
I'd like to have you all individually. I'd like to have you all individually just to chat about why your clubs are the biggest in London sooner or later. But for now, have the best evening. I'll chat to you guys soon. I'll add your Instagram handles later. And yeah, just take it easy and stay safe, boys.
Like a
Nice talking to you, boys.
Like a Bryce, like a Victor. Short man.
Cheers, guys.